to the interview screen. And also another thing too is that I will be muting everything. So let me change the music actually. There we go. Okay. All right, y'all.
Hey, right on time.
All right, y'all, we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Here is Christian. Welcome.
Hello. How you doing?
I know you've been like, in the chat and stuff before, so I'm sure people like, have talked to you in the stream, but it's really great to have you like physically like on the stream.
It's great to be on the stream. It's always fun like lurking, like seeing all the Genshin content creators and stuff, and then watching your stuff is really funny because it's also like super wholesome. So I appreciate it too. So being on it, it's fun. And Thoma, she had a fun time. So I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, it was really fun to interview her too. She's so sweet.
That's good.
But yeah, so is there anything that you would like to plug before we get started with the questions, like your stream or any like new things that you're going to be working on?
Not too much. I've been so thankful to have the Genshin community support me. They've been crazy supportful. So if there's anything, again, I do it all the time on my stream. If you want to visit my Streamily page, I'm doing a signing for all of November, basically.
Oh my gosh, I need to go and buy that one print where Thoma's like holding the little dandelion and stuff. That one's so cute.
It's so good. I've sold a lot of prints that I will need to spread out the signings for about 4 weeks. So
oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it's cool because like I announced on my stream too. Not many people know this. If you buy a print, you also get a free man dressed as worker sticker or a crafty sticker. Just the little NPCs that I did. So
oh my god.
It's really exciting. It's a lot of fun. So I'm very, very giveaway friendly with my gifts. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, if we can get a link, one of the mods want to link the Christian Streamily page, that would be great.
Yeah.
So y'all can go and purchase prints because they're really, really great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, nothing else to plug. I never got into this industry for like all the attention that happened all of a sudden. As I look at my Twitter page, I'm like, oh god, I have 50,000 people.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's all warranted because we all love Thoma. Like Thoma is like the best.
Thank you, I appreciate that. How's your streaming going so far, though? You've been streaming Genshin?
Yes, yeah,
nice.
We've been, just the usual, me getting distracted. So.
I feel that. Sometimes I can't do certain things on stream because I'm like, I'm gonna get so distracted all the time.
It's really hard not to. Thank you so much for the links, by the way, y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're ready, we can start getting into the questions.
Yeah, lay it on me. Which one's first?
All right, so first one is, how did you get into voice acting?
So voice acting, I got into that because I was a music teacher before. I taught, I don't know, 5-6 years beforehand, and they kept cutting the music programs. Things just weren't working out. So I was like, okay, what do I want to get into? And actually, my last year as a teacher, there was this little fan project I was a part of where like I lent my voice as like a narrator, as like one of the co-hosts for it. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Let's kind of get into it and see, like, maybe if I research, maybe it's like a field I could get into. And I started listening to this podcast by Crispin Freeman, who's like a very, very famous like anime voice actor. Now he's doing a lot of movies and promo. Where his podcast was Crispin Freeman's Voice Acting Mastery Podcast, which is how he would always say it.
Aww.
And I would listen to it, and I like learned about the industry, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I ended up taking a class with him after about a month of listening to his podcast. And it was great. It was cool. The class was amazing, and it had really fun people. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to decide to get into voiceover. But, you know, I didn't know how to get in. So I, like, worked really hard to take classes. I had a bunch of money saved up. And I ended up getting a job into, like, a bunch of production studios where I would constantly work my way up. So I could be involved with the industry, but not like directly behind the microphone. And I would actually, you know, be in the right spaces at the right time where a director would go, hey, we need a voice. Christian, you said you do voiceover, right? Go in the booth. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
So I was just around at the right time with the right skill and eventually started building up. And then quarantine hit, and that's when my career really took off because, you know, I have a professional setup. They're just like, oh yeah, we know Christian has a good rig. And then I was able to record, and then things exploded once Genshin happened, and then Thoma happened, and then things really took off.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah, and you know, my path is really short. I've only been in the industry since 2017.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a baby in this industry.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's a really cool, like, origin story.
Thank you.
Like, as far as, you know, you said you were doing, like, music, did you just do, like, a bunch of different musical things, or, like... What did you focus on as far as teaching goes?
It's a good question. I was like just a straight up music teacher. Like I went to music school. There's this school in Southern California called Cal State Fullerton School of Music. And I went there. It's like a very esteemed music program. I got my music education degree. And I was like a band director. It's like, you know, whether it's choir, orchestra, marching band, all that stuff, that's what I taught. And yeah, I did that for the middle school level and the high school level, and I did that for a hot minute. So.
Oh, yeah. Cool! So I'm sure you're pretty excited about the Genshin Impact orchestra concert thing. Like,
oh, it's so good.
it was amazing.
Listen, I've had fever dreams, man, where I'm just like, just to conduct that would be so fun. It'd be so cool. But yeah, I love that stuff. Like listening to the Genshin soundtrack, it's music gloriness.
It really is. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. All right. So, next question. Was there anyone in your life or from like media that influenced your decision? I mean, you kind of answered that, but like anyone else to pursue voice acting as career?
Yes. So, you know, I listened to definitely to get into it. It was like, you know, the really big dogs where like Crispin Freeman, Yuri Lowenthal's Success and all that fun stuff. As I kept going and like learning more and more and more, there would be certain people in my life that really helped push me. So like when I first started taking classes, one of them is, her name is Liz Mori. I still hang out with her. Like we kind of started around the same time and now she's starting to pop off and I'm starting to pop off. So it's like, it's just so amazing for that.
Aww.
There's also this voice actress named Deneen Melody. She's always supported me from behind the scenes. She's fantastic. We were actually just exchanging messages literally yesterday. And she goes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm so busy, but like I see everything that's happening. And I'm like, oh, you good. There's that. And then I was actually, I think right around quarantine was about to happen. You know, I got close with people like Morgan Berry, Brandon Winkler, Jenny Okabori. They've been super supportive, Griffin Fuatu. And I was actually about to leave the industry right around that point because I got a job offer for like a game producing thing.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go live my life, mature as a person before I pursue voiceover again. But Genshin Impact happened. So I kind of made my way back into the industry. And the people who really helped me stay in the industry and kind of help my career take off is Jen Losi, who's the voice of Ganyu.
Aww.
Corey Yee, the voice of Giraffe. And Chris Faella, you know, who's the English voiceover director. But also, like, you know, Kellen Goff. He doesn't hop around the streams anymore because he's so busy. But definitely Kellen Goff, Tommy Bellarivas. Those guys, they really helped, you know, help keep me in and really help you know, I don't have my career without them, so I give them all the credit.
Aw, that is amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of people. You know,
Yeah.
Can't just be one. It's like a whole village.
Absolutely. It does seem like
Yeah.
the type of career where you know, support is definitely like needed, and it's good to just know everyone.
Yeah, it's so helpful.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, being Asian American comes with a lot of pressures from family sometimes.
Yeah.
When it comes to career choice, especially. Did you face any specific challenges due to cultural expectations when it came to pursuing voice acting as a career?
Yes. So, like, literally, my mom's working remote in the room over, so she's definitely gonna hear this, and that's fine. Okay. But
oh no, sorry, Mom.
Nah, you get. Well, like, there's a lot of cool things where, like, when I first kind of got into it, you know, any normal Asian parent's gonna react. It's like, are you sure? Like, it's not a stable career. That's kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, I know, but here's a smart way to approach it. So a lot of the cultural expectations allowed me to approach it with a really smart way, where I would get a full-time job in the industry, so I'm learning and making a living at the exact same time as I'm studying with the voiceover stuff. So then that way I had a safety net to fall back onto when, you know, everything would take off. And things did take off. Like, I want to say I've been working full-time for voiceover for about 3.5, maybe 4 months now, which is insanity. But yeah, you know, I really wanted to make sure I could make my parents happy while making me happy. I had to sacrifice somewhere in that pyramid of self, you know, actualization, and I sacrificed sleep, which I don't recommend.
Oh no.
I really don't recommend that. But I really wanted to make sure that I could, you know, they worked so hard for me. You know, they moved from the Philippines to here. I'm like a first generation American technically. So I wanted to make sure I could do that. And, you know, they worked above and beyond for me, so the least I could do is work above and beyond to make sure they're not worried. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Aw, that's amazing. I definitely
Thanks.
understand. I know when I started pursuing content creation, my mom was just like, why don't you be a nurse?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was funny because, like, you know, my mom, when I first became a music teacher, she had a hard time saying that I was a teacher because, like, you know, it's not really like a thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange. And then when I wanted to be a voice actor, she would say, why don't you go back to teaching? And I'm just like, I never got mad. Never. I always took it as a compliment because, you know, she always worried for me. So I was cool with it. And then now that I'm doing this thing, she's like, I told her, I was just like, yeah, you know, people are asking for my autographs. And then I would be like, and look, here's my prints. I had that ready. Because they're all drying out over here. So yeah, and then she'd be like, oh, that's so cool, but like, people want your autograph? I go, yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Right?
All right. So back to Thoma. Did you audition specifically for Thoma? What was the auditioning process like for that?
So, good question. There's going to be a lot of things that I will sort of skirt around just because of NDA purposes.
Absolutely.
But yes, I did audition specifically for Thoma. I didn't know he was Thoma at the time. Mm-hmm. There was also other characters I auditioned for that I didn't know who they were at the time, and I saw them released in the game, and it was really cool. I auditioned... So, like, we have, like, rounds of auditions. This is how it is for every video game, every anime, everything, basically. There's rounds of batches of characters. And my first ever one was a little bit later on in the progress, just because, you know, I wasn't in the original audition pool for Genshin Impact. Mm-hmm. I was actually, like, you know, I just did NPCs, and then later on, probably, like, a year later or ish, Chris was just like, yeah, you know, here's some auditions. And I'm like, okay, cool. During my second ever rounds of auditions for Genshin characters, that's the one where I booked Thoma. And Thoma had a different code name. Everything was different. No one knew who he was. There was, like, no descriptions. No one knew. And then when I booked him, they go, hey, you booked this character named Thoma. And I'm like, who's Thoma? So then I go into the session. Yeah, because, like, you know, sometimes you want to see it online, so you look up,
oh yeah,
you know, on who you're getting into. But everybody spell it with T-O-H-M-A, and I'm like, is this the same one? Ow. So I go into the session, and the first thing I ever dubbed was that coin flipping one.
Oh yeah.
And my first impression was, dude, this guy's hot. Oh no.
Oh no.
My sister gonna be mad at me.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's short answer. Yeah, I did, but no one knew. Like, we had no idea who the characters are, so it's a surprise to us too.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so fun. It's just like a surprise. Like, oh, okay, I'm that character. Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, okay. So Inazuma in Genshin Impact was such an exciting and highly anticipated area for the community. Like, everyone was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
What were your feelings about being one of the introductory characters for this region?
Oh man, I love that question. Yo, I popped off. Because, like, it was cool. Like, you know, it's a new land. It's the first new land in a game as huge as Genshin.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Genshin Impact. We all love Genshin Impact. So the fact that I was going to be a part of this major land, it's like, dude, this is crazy. And when I first booked Thoma, I didn't know he was going to be important. I didn't know at all. Like, none of us knew. And then we saw the script size, and we were like, why does he have that many lines? And as I'm recording, I'm like, am I important? Like, hello? Like, I thought I was just gonna have to record, you know, my fight stuff, and then I'm gonna be a playable character later, and that's cool. But all of a sudden, I'm here just like, yeah, the statue of the omnipresent god, all of these things, and I'm like, I'm a main story character. Hold on. Hold the phone. So as I finished recording, I was so excited. I was like, people have no idea who I am. People have no idea who this character is. I see that they think he's kind of this playboy character. They're so wrong.
Yeah.
And and I was just, you know, when that trailer first dropped during the live stream, that is probably the best way I could describe it. Where I was like awake at 5 a.m. and I was listening to the trailer, and you hear my voice, and I get out of bed, and I run around the house, and I'm like, yo, let's go, it's
Oh
me.
my gosh, that's amazing.
It was so cool. Sometimes I still watch that trailer again and go, man, oh, good times when people thought that was Kazuha.
Like, seriously, just being introduced to, like, I'm pretty sure Thoma was, like, the first character. I mean, because, like, we had Kazuha, but, like, he wasn't in Inazuma, like, when we got introduced him. So, like, yeah, being introduced to Thoma first was, like, the best experience. Like, it's just...
Yeah, it was so crazy. And I was actually on phone calls with my friends that didn't really know who I was. Like, I just met them, like, online, like, hanging with the streams. Like, Irie. Irie's a Genshin content creator. She's fantastic. I was actually on her voice call the night before the trailer dropped.
Oh my gosh.
So then the next day, you hear my voice, and she messages me. She goes, you don't have to say anything, but I'm pretty sure that's you. And I'm like, I don't know.
No
it's
clue.
So hard to lie. Yeah, especially since, you know, it's just this voice, so.
Yeah, like, do you change your voice? Like, it doesn't seem like you do. Like, you change it, like, that much.
Yeah, it's not at all. Like, literally, a lot of my voice acting characters, it's just my normal voice. It's just the personality that's different.
Right.
Yeah, where, like, Thoma's, like, 95. The only 5% difference is that Thoma's a little bit more confident.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mix, like, the bubbliness and, like, energy that you get from Yenfei with, like, the confidence that you get from, like, Aladdin. That's the extra 5%. And then that's how you get Thoma.
Yeah, that's an amazing just comparison, because, yeah, like, I do get the Aladdin vibes as well, so.
Thank you. Especially when you first meet him, when he's just, like, you know, he's on the dock and he's like, so you finally made it. Like, that kind of deal? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's where I got that.
All right, so in September, it was estimated that around 50 million players were actually playing Genshin Impact. Did you ever imagine being a character in something this fast growing?
50 million?
Yeah. Oh no.
I didn't. This game was huge. I knew of the game because my friends would talk about it, and they said, yeah, it's gonna be huge, but, you know, everybody says everything's gonna be huge, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then the first week happened, and oh my gosh, that was crazy. It's so crazy to the point where, like, I have people from high school going, so I heard you in this video game. How did you get into that? And I'm like, wow, even you know about it? That's bonkers. No, I had no idea. It still boggles my mind to this day, where I could talk at an Apple store and a couple recognizes me. And I'm like, oh, hello.
Oh, I think I saw your tweet about that. Like, that's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, they were so cool. They were so nice. I was like buying a laptop and they were just like, we don't want to bother you. It's okay. And I'm here just like, hi, how do you know me?
Oh my gosh. That has got to be so surreal just to have people like come up and be like, I don't know. That happens to me at like conventions, but like just when you're doing like normal stuff, that's wild.
Yeah, I've never been to a convention like as a guest.
What?
So this would be my first time. So I'm actually terrified.
Oh
if
my
I ever
God.
Yeah, because I got invited to a convention that I can't talk about what it is specifically.
Right.
But I got invited to 2 conventions, and I'm a guest, so I have to go. And I'm like, oh, people are gonna want to. Oh, that's weird. I should prepare.
Well, congrats on that's amazing. I'm still hoping
Thank
that
you.
you're able to come to Orlando sometime.
Honestly, I have so many friends in Florida. I've been telling people, I'm like, hey, you in a Florida con? Invite me, please, I want to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna bug my convention people for MegaCon specifically. So
Yes, oh, that'd be cool. I would love that.
All right. So I did I think you actually watched my VOD where I did all the routes for Thoma's Hangout.
Yes.
And he is quite possibly the most perfect man to ever exist. Did you have any creative ideas that you brought to his character when voicing him in English? Are you anything like him in general?
Yes and yes.
Wow.
So creative ideas. So the creative ideas I got to bring to Thoma is that in 2.0, when we first recorded Thoma, we were kind of feeling out the character. You know, obviously we knew what he wanted to be. Like the client, miHoYo, and then the English director and myself, we all had an image of what Thoma was supposed to be. But as we kept recording him, my natural kind of instinct started to come out, where I would say lines a certain way, and it would be far different from the Japanese or Korean or Chinese. But the client liked it, and so did Chris. So they go, we're keeping that. That's going to be a thing. So a lot of my naturalisms of like, I'm a little sassy. So that started to come out a bit. Definitely more wholesome. A lot more wholesomeness kind of came out with my takes versus the other Thomas. And one of the examples is in the Hangout. There's that really popular scene that got clipped to hell by TikTok, where it's an idle line where you're taking pictures of the dogs, and then you ask Thoma, and Thoma's just like, oh, they're so cute. That one, that's just my naturalisms. And like, because when we saw those lines, Chris was just like, how do we make this sound natural to the character? And I go, I got you. Don't even worry about this. So I read it, and he goes, yeah, okay, we're going with that. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, there's that one. And also the teacher one. When he's like, he gets mad at the traveler because the traveler isn't paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so he's just like, excuse me, you? Like, that one, that comes from my teacher background, where I'm used to teaching, and I just imagine a kid on their phone, and I'm like, dude, what you doing?
Oh my God, that's amazing. I mean, it's perfect now that we know that you were a teacher, so it's like,
Yes.
oh my God, now I want to replay through that and just to like...
Yeah, and like, you know, a lot of my teacher instincts really came out like when I was when you would teach the traveler how to knit.
Oh
The way I worded those lines, I was like, yeah, you know, you do this, cool, then you do that, awesome, and like, you just kind of go through the motions. Yeah, I think I was so perfectly tailored for Thoma in a weird sense that a lot of it is the kind of creative decisions of me mixed with like, you know, what miHoYo envisioned, what Chris envisioned, and you know, that's how you get Thoma.
That's amazing. That reminds me a lot of like Jenny Yokobori, where she was mentioning that she used to do, I guess, fireworks related stuff before, and it's just like,
Yes.
just crazy, just perfect.
Yeah, she was a pyrotechnician.
Yeah.
And in the cast, we have this thing called the Genshin Typecast, where the right role will find you. I'm gonna be very vague, but
Yeah,
there was
absolutely.
a character I almost booked in Genshin Impact, and I was really sad I didn't get to book that one. But everyone told me the right character's gonna find you, and then Thoma did, and I'm like,
God.
yeah, you're right. The right character finds you. Like, you know, Jen Losey's gone you to a T. You know, Jenny Yokobori is Yoimiya to like a perfect T. And Yako terrifies me sometimes. Nah, she's great. She's funny. Yeah, but the right character finds the right person, and it, it's so cool.
Aw, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so my last question, and then we have some questions from the community, but who are your favorite characters in Genshin Impact besides Thoma?
Oh, Amber and Yoimiya. Amber, Yoimiya, and Yanfei. Those three.
Really?
Yes, I love those three.
Is there like a reason why?
They're so bubbly and energetic, and it kind of fits like, my kind of personality style. Like, like whenever I'm in like public and, people don't know me, I chill and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. But the moment I'm in social mode, it's like, very bubbly, energetic. I was actually talking to Rin Taicho, who is a Genshin content creator, and we were talking about the Genki kind of character type. Where like, just that kind of Genki kind of girl, and like, those kind of fit that. And it's really cool. I like that personality type. It's a lot of fun. But they're also just fun to vibe with, like, they seem like people you go like, yeah, let's go to the mall. Let's go hang out. That kind of deal. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so questions from the community. So this one is asked by Arabeth on Twitch. Okay. What was a role you played as an actor that has left the most impact on you?
So the name was Arabeth?
Yes.
Oh, hi Arabeth. Role that has played that's left the most impact on me. Thoma's definitely one of them, but if I get to pick another one, there's a role that I played that's he's like in this kids anime. And his official like canon name is Sota, but everyone knows him as Mimi Lin's dad. And it's in the show called Shimajiro, which is like this little tiger kid in Japan that is super popular. That like everybody, knows as like, oh, they teach kids how to speak English, they teach kids how to do everything. And I play this dad who is just super off the walls, crazy. Like, everyone in the show is just like, what are you doing today, Shimajiro? Versus me, I'm like, what are we gonna do? Right? And it impacted me the most because I learned that with me as a person and me as an actor, I get cast for certain things. And it's because I'm able to make the craziest and most unique characters grounded and nuanced to where it feels like a real person. And they bring me in for those types, and I'm like, yeah, I got it. And it really impacted me because I'm able to take this crazy dad that doesn't seem real and make him into a real person. Because, a lot of acting is trying to make the unreal real.
Right.
And it just impacted me so much because it gave me confidence. Because I'm like, oh, I have a place in this industry. Let's take home with that. Let's take advantage of that. And yeah, so definitely that one.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thanks.
All right, so next one, asked by Chimera. How do you balance yourself in being your Genshin characters on social media?
So, hi, Chimera. How do I balance being the character? Is that what you said?
Being yourself and being your Genshin characters on social media. Yeah.
Got it. So that's really tough. Because Thoma is this voice, but it's not necessarily the personality.
Exactly.
So on social media, I'm kind of just being me. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what I do, whether it's a professional scenario or a societal scenario, I'm just me to myself to a fault. So I feel like there's a really good casual professionalism that I'm able to keep because I'm not putting on an act. Like, what you're getting right now is just me vibing on a microphone. So, whenever I have to be my character, that's a little bit different. I have to be very choosy with my words because, I'm representing a company, technically. Once I get into character, it's a company. So I have to make sure I stay within what they want for the character. What's canon, what isn't. And I'm just, I'm being professional because that's what I am at the end of the day. So, there's certain things that I can't do that my colleagues can, and my colleagues can't do certain things I can. So I have to stay within those bounds. So, and one thing I could say about me personally is, I don't try to say very controversial things in regards to the, to like who I am as a person or the company, just because, like, look, I get it. I'm all about being outspoken and everything is the right for speech, but I won't mention it until anybody asks me about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. So then that way people understand, like, oh, he just talks about whatever he wants to talk about when it's brought up. So it's that really fine line that I try to guide this whole way because social media is scary.
It is very scary, especially when you have like such a big following. It's just like, you gotta tread lightly.
Yeah, especially when companies kind of follow me.
Exactly.
I had no idea they do. I'm like, oh, hello. Like, I had this session where this client says, dude, I saw your Twitter post on this. It was so funny. And I was like, yeah.
You saw that?
My bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so this one is asked by Wisteria C.
Okay.
How does it make you feel when someone completely loves or hates a character that you voice?
It's cool. It's a compliment because, you know, you're talking about it. So it's had an impact one way or another. If it's positive, I love it. You know, that's cool. Like, thank you so much. I'm glad that me doing my job and me kind of putting my own story into that character has influenced you and affected you in a good way. If you hate it, hey, that's fine. Tell me why you don't like it. Because then what's great is that I could go, hey, I didn't have control over that, but I understand where you're coming from. And that makes a ton of sense, you know? Like, for example, people thought Mango Cookie was going to sound younger. And I'm like, you know what? That's completely fair. So what I do, you know, behind the scenes is I listen and I go, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I get where they're coming from. They're not trying to be jerks about it. So, you know, it is what it is. And in my head, I go, ooh, I have a perfect voice for what he would sound like if he was younger. And it just helps me, you know, kind of accept it later on as I keep developing as an actor. Because not everyone's going to like what I do, and that's fine. I don't mind. So I just have to learn how to get used to it. Be like, oh, you don't like it for that reason? Hey, that's cool. More power to you, dude. So.
Oh, that's such a wholesome way to look at it, because I know for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
You don't like me, I don't care.
I know. It's so hard. Like, it's so hard because, like, you know, you don't like dealing with criticism. It's a human trait to not be told you're wrong. You hate that, but you kind of just have to take it in stride and go, you know what? They're saying it for a reason. What's the reason? And then once you find it out, you're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, try your best. Sometimes there's no reason, so you're just like,
okay.
What can I do?
Yeah. Aw. All right. So next question is asked by Mimiru1817. When voicing characters you play, including Thoma, do you take real experience you yourself have faced when deciding how to portray your characters? You kind of answered that, but
Yes.
I guess maybe they're asking specifically like anything that you have experienced in your life, like from the past or currently or anything like that.
Yes. I'm actually going to move my microphone slightly.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so I actually have. There's a lot. Basically, when I was a teacher, I taught by telling stories related to my personal life. And with acting, it's the same thing. I would pick and choose, like, you know, certain aspects, and I would be like, oh, let's bring this into the equation. Let's see if that gives the right flavor that they're looking for. And it does. And I'm like, okay, cool. There's a character that I'm voicing that I cannot wait for you guys to learn about. Like, oh my god, this one's so cool. Like, this is like one of my bucket list goals. And I had to draw so much from a lot of darker places.
Oh.
And a lot more like personal experiences where I would be like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to pull from this semi-traumatic experience. Let's see what happens. And I'd go for it, and they go, you didn't have to go that hard. I know, but I had to. And they're like, no, it's a good choice. They're like, do you need 5 minutes? I'm like, I'm good. Let's just keep going.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this.
It was, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. Because everyone's so used to, you know, bubbly, energetic, wholesome. This one is not.
I love those types of characters.
I do too. I love the nitty gritty acting where like I could flex the chops. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. Cannot wait.
Me too.
So this one is asked by Juice. This is actually our last question from the community. Asked by Juiced10, who's actually Filipino as well. What was your lowest moment as a voice actor, and what did you do to overcome it?
Whoo! All right. So that happened recently. So when Thoma came out, boom, explosion, lots of things, crazy stuff happening, and my life was on a snowball effect, right? And things kept happening. Well, before all this happened, like, you know, before publicly it happened, I was already booking a lot more at the beginning of the year, like beginning of this year. But it got into a really awful place because right around February, my best friend for many years passed away.
Aww.
And that was like, dude, like everything was like going like this, and just boof, like rock bottom. And it was like the worst because, like, you know, I relied on her and depended on her for everything. And I never really talked about it publicly until like a month ago when I started talking about it publicly. And that was like the worst. And it was, you kind of get that, what's the word? Survivor's guilt. Where you're like, man, all these good things are happening. And like, you know, they're not there to experience it. Like that really.
Oh no. I don't know if you can still hear me, Christian, but we got a little blip in the connection. Not this. No. I think, are we still good, y'all? We still good? Okay, all right. So maybe it was Christian's connection. It lagged. Is Zoom acting up? I don't know. We still see me? Okay. Come back. Not the still too. Oh no. Oh yeah, heat. Y'all can see me. Hello. We disconnected. So hopefully he'll come back. Interview myself. I'm still connected. I'm still in the call. Hold on. Oh, I think we're good. Maybe. You just hopped into our connection issues? Oh no. Hi, Perk. Right in the middle of the story. I know. Oh, wait. Hi. Welcome back.
Dude, oh my god. I haven't had an internet dropout in months.
Oh,
and
no.
then I saw that and I was just like, no way. No way. No.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. What was the last thing I said?
So you were telling us about your lowest moment as a voice actor and what
Yes.
happened with your friend.
Yes. Yeah, you know, she was like, you know, she was great and like she was always super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And like she would always be mad where like she'd be like, you know, I hope you never voice a hot guy. And then Thoma happened. That's why when I said I voiced Thoma, I was like, oh no, he's hot.
Aww.
Or like there's a moment where she's just like, you know, I really love Fire Emblem. I hope you could be in Fire Emblem someday, but not as like a 5-star. I want you to be a 3-star.
Wow.
So yeah, and I adopted that as like my own goals, where I'd be like, you know, I can't wait to be a 3-star unit in Fire Emblem. When you're trying to roll for like the 10th Saber skin for like the swimsuit thing, whatever, who cares? And then you just like, you're like, yes, come on, SSR. And then you hear my stupid voice for the 3-star. Like that is like such a good goal. I love that one.
Aww.
But yeah, it's so cool and I love it.
Aww.
Yeah, that was probably the darkest time, but at the end of the day, like you kind of just have to work through it and figure it out and accept, okay, hey, that happened. Let's keep going. Like the internet dropping out. I accepted
Yeah.
it happened. And I'm like, internet's out? That sucks.
Aww. Yeah, just gotta
Yeah.
keep going. I definitely understand what you mean though about just overcoming, trying to keep going, and you know, it's a really good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So well, yeah, I mean, that's all we have for you today. I had one like bonus question, which is like a super silly question.
Go for it.
What is your zodiac sign?
Zodiac sign. How come my brain is not remembering what the zodiacs are?
Oh, what yours is? When is your birth?
No. Oh, like that, like based on birth, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm a Libra.
You're a Libra?
Yeah, September 27th, I am a Libra.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm really
Yes.
big into astrology. We talk about it all the time with the Genshin characters. And we
Yeah.
just found out, because you could see it in Thoma's Hangout, that he's a Capricorn.
Yes.
And he is a Capricorn to a T. And I'm like, I wonder what Christian Banas is. Like, if
Yes,
he's...
I'm a Libra. So
Do you know anything about astrology at all? Or...
a little bit.
Okay.
Not too much. I did go out with a girl that was very interested with it back in college. And she would ask me about it all the time, and I'm like, I don't know.
She was silently judging you based off of you being a Libra. Like, oh.
I mean, probably. yeah, I never really like thought about that much. Okay, but what about Thoma makes him a total Capricorn?
Okay, so I'm actually a Capricorn myself. That's why I was
Okay.
I went off when I found out. I was like, yes, another Capricorn, because Zhongli's a Capricorn and so is Diona. So I was like, yes, yes. But anyway, yeah. So Capricorns are typically pretty hardworking. They're very ambitious.
Okay.
They tend to be very sometimes they're very money focused. They can
Yeah,
be money focused. And they just kind of excel at whatever they put their focus on. They're very organized. So it's like, Thoma is a perfect Capricorn.
He is. Yeah, that makes sense on the description. But then, okay, so if I'm a Libra, because Thoma's basically like 95% me. But there's my dog barking already. But what is the foundation of a Libra per se? I'm actually curious.
Oh no, I've talked about Libras before in my stream, and I don't typically have a lot of good things to say about them. No, okay, I do have good things to say. So y'all are pretty, I feel like when you go to a party or like a social setting, y'all usually can just go and interact with anyone. Like you can literally go and talk to anyone, even if they're not like you, or like you don't always vibe with them, you can just like you can vibe with them. And they're typically just very they're like the popular person usually in social groups, and they have a lot of friends. They can make friends with everyone. They're just very charismatic and very glamorous too.
Oh snaps. Okay, all right. I mean, that's not wrong.
Yes.
It's not wrong. Yeah,
that's the positive thing I have to say about Libras, but
oh, I love the subtext there. I'm like, hey yo, what's the subtext?
Well, I know a lot of Libras, and it's just so I know y'all very well.
Is one of them we can't make a decision for our lives?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Sorry to yell, but yes. Like I literally cannot ask like, yeah, so what do you want to do when we're hanging out? I don't know. What do you want to do? It's like, not again.
Yeah, literally I respond that. I usually respond that when I'm like not thinking about it, where someone goes, where do you want to eat? I go, whatever's good with you.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Where do you want to eat?
And I'd be like, well, I'm cool with anything. Oh, no. And then that's how I respond.
And it's just back and forth for like 30 minutes. Like, you know what? I'm not even hungry anymore.
Yeah, I literally have to force myself to make a decision now whenever people ask me that. Where they'd be like, where do you want to eat? I go, let's just get Japanese food. And they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So. Oh, man.
Well,
and portion is a call out.
Yeah, but I do feel like the positives for Libras, like, I just wish I could be that, because I'm very introverted, and, like, sometimes when I'm in a social setting, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone, so,
completely fair.
Yeah, so, like, Libra people will pull me out, like, come on, talk to this person, because they like anime, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always that person where I'm like, have you met this person?
Yes.
And then, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Sounds very accurate.
But is that all the questions?
Yep, that is it for today. Thank you so much for being here and for answering all of our questions. And it was wonderful to like meet you this way, because I know we've talked and stuff, but like this way.
Yes, this is like technically your first time like hearing me talk.
Yeah,
that's not Thoma.
Yeah, or like on your stream, because like I've watched your streams too, but like
yeah, so like first direct face to face. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, hope y'all enjoy it. Thank you so much again for being here.
Of course.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And we're so excited about that character that you're talking about. Now I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of, the time until it gets announced.
Me too. But thank you so much. All right. Are you still streaming after this?
Yes, I'll still be streaming.
All right. Have fun.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. That was Thoma. I hope that y'all, or Christian Banas, Thoma, voice of Thoma. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Yes, it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. You adore